I'm wearing the same shirt as the other video because I'm recording these two back to back, killing two birds with one stone. So today I want to talk about my personal experience with the college application process, especially during COVID-19, and kind of give you my information, my stats, and show you kind of like my tips on how to make your best application in a way. So let's get into it. So here's some information about me. SLA doesn't do rankings, so I don't have any like, you know, I'm not like summa cum laude or whatever. I'm not any of that. SLA also doesn't have APs. We don't do APs, so I don't have any APs under my belt. My GPA is a 3.7 unweighted and a 3.8 weighted. ACT, I was not able to take the ACT due to COVID-19, but I did take like a prep class, and I took a very accurate, you know, mock exam, and I got a 23 on my practice test. So I assume that's probably the range that I would be in. Extracurriculars. This is where I shined, okay? If you heard my stats and you watched other videos, you're probably like, oh, okay, she's like chilling, but like I know everyone else kind of has like these crazy stats, like 4.5 GPA or whatever. Good for them though, but I don't. And the way I shined in my application is extracurriculars. So my first extracurricular that I want to talk about is Penn Vet. I have been at Penn Vet since I was in 8th grade. I studied and worked with and trained working dogs and cancer detection dogs in the city of Philadelphia. Really cool program. Read about it. Really cool. I've been there since 8th grade, and I worked my way all the way to get an internship when I was a junior. Sadly, I couldn't do it this year. Again, COVID-19 happened. But that's my first thing. You're gonna want to show colleges that you can focus and maintain strength in one certain thing. So for my extracurricular that showed depth was Penn Vet. I've been there since I was a 13-year-old kid. Like, that's really impressive. And on top of that, I worked my way from student, like from participating in it as a club to being a camp counselor to then working my way up to getting a whole internship. You want something like that. You want something where you build yourself into this community and you don't let go. And you need to show colleges that, whether in your essays, in your application itself, and when they ask you, you know, give your extracurriculars, find something that you can do for years and that interests you genuinely, because that's the only way you're going to be able to stay there. So that's my first extracurricular. My second one was I was a Drexel Scholar at Drexel University, which means I was able to take one course per semester at Drexel University, which was an amazing opportunity. So if you're in Philly and you want to take college classes and you're in high school, I definitely recommend that. The classes I took there were Sociology 101, International Business, and History of Modern Biology. I chose this one because I wanted to get the college experience. I wanted to get I've been doing it since junior year, by the way. I wanted to know what it was like to take a college level course because I wanted to mentally prepare myself for that. And I think that's another thing colleges really like, is if you're taking initiative to really look into your future and know that they can trust you to get good grades, to be a part of that community. And taking classes in college is one of the best things you can do. My classes, sociology and history of modern biology were two things I was genuinely interested in. Like, I was able to put that in my essay and be like, hey, I can prove to you that I want to major in this because I took these two classes. International business was just me like messing around looking for whatever. But I also recommend if you're taking college classes, to take something that you're genuinely interested in and you can see a future in it. So when you're writing your essays or when you're talking to college admissions, you can be like, hey, this is the proof that I want to do this, or I think I want to do this, you know? So those were the two really big extracurriculars that I wanted to talk about. I've done a bunch of other smaller stuff. I worked with the home and school at my high school to, you know, work at EduCon, an internet, which was an education conference that we hold every year. I volunteered there for a bunch of years. I volunteered to be a representative for the school with school safety. If you don't know, SLA was displaced because of asbestos, and I joined, you know, a group that was able to help in the move and kind of communicate with students what was going on with that. And I was able to talk with like the safety commissioner of Philadelphia schools to talk about metal detectors, you know, and all this kind of crazy stuff. So that's another thing. You want to be part of your community. Look into your high school and see what programs they're doing and ask if you can volunteer, because then college admissions knows that, you know, you're gonna help the college and you want to help grow yourself and you want to help others. It's really important. I definitely recommend at least doing a couple little things like that to beef up just your one or two main things to show other skills that you can show. So the colleges that I applied to were Drexel University, Temple, U Chicago, U Miami, UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC San Diego, and UC Santa Cruz, and the University of Sciences. I got accepted into Drexel University, U Sciences, UC San Diego, UC Santa Cruz, and Temple. I didn't get accepted to Miami, Chicago, or UCLA or Berkeley. That kind of makes sense. I honestly was surprised at San Diego, honestly, but that I genuinely think that's because I really showed myself in my essay, and I showed myself through my extracurriculars. Like, they knew I was able to maintain a good GPA. It wasn't mind-blowing, but they were able to know that, you know, I was more than a GPA, and I was able to hold myself in real life situations, not just numbers on a paper. So that's my statistics and like everything. I have a few tips to leave you with. One, become familiar with your college counselor. Number one, be friends with them. Start freshman year. Talk to them, get their tips. And then senior year is going to be so much easier for you, because if you're able to if your counselor likes you and she's able to, you know, if they're able to be friends with you, you're gonna be in such a better place. Whether it's, you know, you're in a sitch and something messed up paperwork wise, they're gonna want to help you, and they're gonna want to give you advice, and they're gonna want to show you tips that you didn't even know and that I don't even know. So number one, be friends with your college counselor. Number two, start in August. Start writing your essays in August. Start filling out your Common App in August. Start your UC application in August if you're doing that. Trust me, I should have done it better. I was still I was still like working on my essays way into the school year, and I really wish I could have done more in the summer and not had to worry about all this essays and all the application process. I really recommend starting in the summer. Start your essays in the summer and, you know, work your way to a finished draft a month or a couple weeks before applications start, because it's just going to make your life so much easier. Going off of that, get people to read your essay. Read your essay like over and over and over. You really want that to be as polished as possible. That doesn't mean let people edit it 100%, but that means making sure people understand your story, making sure people can understand it clearly, because college admissions counselors read through so many of these. You have to be concise and you have to be clean with your essay. Like there's no chance for error. If there's spelling errors, you want to catch that as much as possible. So let people read your essay. I know it's embarrassing sometimes, I know it's kind of scary, but just let your counselors, your teachers, your parents read your essay. And you know, make sure it's legible, and make sure the idea you're trying to convey is there. Those are all my tips that I have. And let me know if you want a video about my essay. I have my whole essay that was able to get me into these schools, which is really crazy. But let me know if you want to see that. I can read it over and like give you tips on the essay portion. But this was just an overall like how I was able to survive, and some tips for you guys as to like what to do. All right, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.